So we got the movie The Tunnel to Summer Exit of Goodbyes is a Japanese sci-fi kind of fantasy movie coming of age animation, which is anime drama movie with romance. I apologize if I'm going to say a lot of names and places wrong because it's Japanese and I don't know how to say it in my native tongue. Kaoru Tono is a high school student, probably in the later stages of high school, who lives in Yoshirama. Again, I apologize. And after an incident, he unknowingly encounters a strange tunnel that can encounter and grant his wishes, but at a deeply cost. Shortly after, he meets Anzu Hanashiro, which I'm sorry if I'm not saying that name right, who is a transfer student, and she is interested in this guy because he literally like skipped class. Oh, where is he going? I need to follow him. So she wants and is piqued to know the secrets of the tunnel as well. So they both intertwine to join this joint operation to find out all the intricacies of the tunnel, but they unwillingly do not know the dangers that await them for doing this. If you've been with me since the start of this year, two things. I appreciate you, thank you, and I love you very much. And second, I've been saying this a lot. Anime looks great on the big screen. This year alone, 2023 has been a great year for anime. Literally back in March or February, we had the release of Sword Art Online, and anime has changed me as a reviewer, as a YouTube, and even as a person. I went to a lot of Comic Cons this year, Fan Expo, if you've seen my collectibles. That was all this year. That was all in 2023, and I loved anime. And we had Priscilla coming out this week as well, but anime has to take the top spot for me to review. And it's also romance too, so of course I went to school for that. But it's not just anime in general. It's the rain, the puddles, the clearly no snowy skies, the way the rain hits the puddles like in the ground every time the guests are walking. It looks beautiful on the big screen. I can't wait to watch it again. I did see this in English dub. My second viewing, I will go see this in Japanese dub just to see like the translation of what I'm missing. But I did love this enough to warrant a second viewing, which I'll go in the next upcoming days. Kaoru Tono, which is the main guy of the film, as much as I like him, he feels relatable, every man's average guy. He has friends, he's not getting picked on, although he feels kind of shy and nervous to me as my liking. It feels like he gains his confidence as the movie progresses, but you don't see that in the beginning when he meets Anzu, which is the beautiful girl. But it's not a bad dude, it's just he's, I feel like, too reserved for my taste. Like I would be more upgoing, but then you find out why is he like that, because of his past histories and traumas and the loss and grief of what this movie is trying to portray with the tunnel and actually when you meet him. The girl Anzu, of course, is gorgeous, but you learn more about her and why she's interested in the tunnel as well. And she is the one that feels more confident, sure of herself. She like takes the lead in like the first 75% of the film. But then I loved it how the guy at the end, once he gets confidence, gets close to the girl, he's like, okay, cool. Maybe that's just a Japanese thing or anime thing, but I do notice that a lot in anime, that sometimes the girls are more outgoing and like the guys are like shy, reserved, or I don't know. I mean, it could be their culture, it could be Japanese, or maybe I need to do like more research on that, but I don't mind it. I mean, it's cool. I mean, some girls are gonna do that, but mostly here in the States, it's weird because guys don't do that. Usually I would have to go talk to a girl if I want to go talk to her, but still, you learn the intricacies of the tunnel of the movie when the movie keeps going. And the relatable human characters, anyone could see themselves in this, even me. Even though they're still in high school, the movie spans different years and genres and ages as they grow up. As the movie progresses, we learn more about each other's, their wants, their fears, their desires, what I said before, the loss and the grief, and why their missions intertwine with one another. You see as these two complete strangers go from strangers to acquaintances to friends, and even possibly hints of romance, which jumped me out of my seat because I'm like, oh wow. Especially the first scene when he tries to give her the umbrella, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you see that without spoilers in the second viewing, scenery and the imagery, which is amazing because the two courses of imagery they use in this is both beautiful and breathtaking. Because I'm like, wow, I can't believe they did that again, but in a different light, which is like sunny, rainy, snowy, which if you see the movie, you'll find out. And that's one thing that I want to say. There are some very heartwarming scenes in this movie, especially the one that I just talked about with the umbrella. You see that in a different light, but also the movie uses imagery. Every time the movie like shows, it cuts back to a beautiful sky with planes, two planes. Sometimes they're going like this, sometimes they're going like this or like this. And I was like thinking, why do they keep cutting to these planes? And sometimes they're like this. I'm like, wow, the way they use imagery in corresponding with the characters of the anime that's going forward. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, oh my God, that's why it's cutting back to this, to show us the progress of their friendship, relationship dynamic, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm like, dude, I caught that like the second, third time it kept going. It keeps going more. I'm like, wow, that's so cool that it corresponds with the characters. Now, with the runtime of 1 hour and 24 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's very short. I usually say on this channel, it's hard to get invested with the characters because you get less screen time with them. It feels like it's like fast paced or rushed. However, for this movie, I quite didn't mind it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved more screen time, especially when their friendship goes to the next level or just to see how they're going out. I mean, they do hang out, they go on dates and stuff, but it was a pleasant I wouldn't say easy watch because there's a lot of like sci-fi intricacies, but it is a great, pleasant watch. And that's the word that I would love to use. Great, pleasant watch. Like, I felt happy watching this. I'm like, oh my god, this is cool. Although, one thing to be noticed is there's some awkward pauses for like 2, 3, 4, even 5 seconds of the movie. I don't know if that's a movie warrants for that, like if they wanted to do that, but let's say I'm talking to the girl, right? I'm like, so what do you think of this? And it's like, just an example. Let's say I'm talking to a girl and it's something serious. The movie will pause 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't know why. Maybe that's deliberate because of the directors and the writers want it to be like that. Because in real life, let's say you're asking someone, hey, like, let's be serious. Like, would you want to like move in together? And then they take a pause. They don't just like respond right away. So maybe that could be, and they're teenagers and they're in Japan. They're like the boonies of Japan. So it's like, maybe it's a different culture, but still, I did notice that. I'm like, there's some awkward pauses. Is that deliberately? Is that intense? Is that intentional? Did the directors want that? And I'm like, however, to be honest with you, I did like this and I will definitely be watching again. I am going to give you my grade, but then I'm going into some slight spoilers because the ending of this is bizarre, especially in my eyes. So I'm going to give this a B. It was a pleasant watch, honestly. Now, we're going to get into spoilers. So if you don't care about spoilers, then just click off and you know, it's a B, but thank you anyway. So the thing with this movie is every time someone enters the tunnel, time is changed. So let's say someone's in there for like 5 seconds. It'll been hours on the outside. So every time they hang out, they're texting. She's literally waiting. He's waiting. And at the end of the day, the movie, if you want to know, they do end up together. But he's inside because he lost his sister and he gets time to be with her. And she's telling him, she's like, hey, like, I'm glad that you're here, but still, like, a girl loves you out there. And I'm like, wow, dude. Because in the beginning of the 75% of the movie, she feels like she's like confident to talk to him more, and then at the end of the day he's running back and he's like, I love you, and she gets the text, and of course the time difference, so she runs back and of course they end up together. But still, I guess for her, she had to wait 13 years and 109 days. And the reason why I said it's coming of age, it's because he chose to go in. They made a plan to go in together, but he knew that she was going to have like calls because she wants to be a manga artist. So he's like, no, her career comes first. And yeah, of course, like sometimes you got to put your career first and then love second. Otherwise, how are you going to fund the lifestyle of your like marriage and stuff? So I love how he did that. I'm like, dude, that hurts to her because she loves you and she wants to be with you, and you guys never almost quite get there. But for him to be like, I have to go in alone, and then for 13 years, but for him it was 5 minutes to be with his sister. You see the time difference? It's so like, because it speeds it up and it takes away your life. And I'm like, wow, dude. But at the end of the day, they end up together. But I mean, a lot of people were confused. Like, I didn't get confused. He said he loved her, she loved him, they kissed and they hold hands. They're going to get together. And I think if she's like 17 in high school, if it's like 13 years, she's like 30. So they're adulthood. So that's it. If you made it this far, I just want to say I really appreciate you and I thank you so much. Maybe consider subscribing and hitting that like button so you never miss a video. And with that, take care. Bye.